Who's seen me give a conference talk before? Good, you're all newbies. Perfect. I love it. A little housekeeping. If you have any questions, I'll be here probably all day. If not, hit me up on Twitter, hit me up on LinkedIn. If we are in a community Slack somewhere, hit me up there. I like to have the interaction one-on-one. It's just easier for me. A huge shout out to Midwest Tech Conference for bringing me in. I really, really appreciate it. I'll actually be in St. Louis in 2 weeks. I'll be back here again for supercomputing. Is anybody going to be at supercomputing in a couple weeks? No? Okay. Is anybody going to be at Black Hat Europe in December? Is anybody going to be at Code Mash in January? You guys are killing me. But that's okay, because you just learned about all these amazing conferences that you can attend now, that I told you about them, so good. A huge shout out to the sponsors. If it wasn't for sponsors, we wouldn't have events. Let's just be real. We went through, and we're still kind of going through it in 2020. We kind of lost developer community a little bit. I don't know about you, but speaking at virtual events, speaking into a camera without being able to see my audience, without being able to hear if my jokes landed, watching the jaws drop, the light bulbs go off, the tears fall, because I can be very vulnerable in some of the talks I give. That's what I need. And if it wasn't for sponsors, we wouldn't have events. We wouldn't be able to come together as a developer community. So if you can, go out there and tell Tim thank you for sponsoring. Any other sponsors that are here? The volunteers, the organizers, everybody puts their time, energy, effort, and money into this because it costs money to bring the community together. And we're all here to learn, and we're all here to teach. So if you do that, that would make me extremely happy. This is the official hashtag for the event. Hopefully you're on Twitter or Blue Sky or LinkedIn, and you're building your community, and you're building your network. This is the official hashtag. So if you are tweeting, taking pictures, posting on LinkedIn, Blue Sky, hashtag MWTC, Midwest Tech Conference, is the hashtag to use. Oh, don't die on me. There we go. And if you threw this on there too, hashtag developer community. I alluded to this 30 seconds ago, 45 seconds ago. Our developer community is my lifeblood. I travel around the world. I talk about all various types of front-end technology, and I've talked about cloud, and I built a career around web accessibility, and that's where the vulnerability comes into play. If you could throw hashtag developer community on anything that you're posting, that would be great too. Not just for myself, but for the developer community as a whole. It's people that are in the community that can see what you're doing, and what event that you're at, and the cool stuff that you're learning, right? Hashtag developer community can go a long way. We have this thing at TuxCare called show notes. If you take you could take a picture of this if you want. There's going to be one at the end of the talk as well. The slides are available as well as the resources. And once this talk is edited, the video will be up there as well. And you can also enter for a giveaway to win a prize on that page. And if you don't want to take a picture, it's just shownotes.tuxcare.com. Everybody cool with this? Like I said, I'll have another slide with this coming up at the end. That's me. My name is Chris. I'm from Michigan, the Metro Detroit area. You can catch me on Twitter at Salt and Burnham. Any Supernatural fans in the audience? Raise your hands. Come on, this is a safe space. All right, then you'll understand the Salt and Burnham reference. Any Buffy fans? Come on, raise your hands. Charmed? Do what?
The movie, not the TV show.
Oh, see, I love the TV show too, but I also love the movie. They're both great. What about Charmed?
Oh, you got me.
I knew I'd get one. Old Charmed or new Charmed?
Old Charmed.
It's always Old Charmed. Always Old Charmed. Here it's everybody. Stranger Things. There's the hands. We got like what, 16 days? Did everybody watch the trailer?
No.
Oh. No, I'm not going to spoil anything, but the trailer is publicly available. I think we got like 16 days. The other day was Stranger Things, the day Will Byers went missing. What was that, November 6th? Keep up, people. Oh, wait a minute. Redacted. Oh, shit. That's not good. Let me see. Did one of you guys get my slides before I started this? Jared, did you mess with my slides?
I can't confirm or deny that.
Just kidding. Just kidding. They weren't redacted. I'm a senior developer advocate. I work at TuxCare. Is anybody familiar with TuxCare? No? Is anybody familiar with what end of life means and endless life cycle support? All right. So what we do at TuxCare, we do a couple of different things, but one of the big things we do is live rebootless patching for Linux distributions. And we also offer endless life cycle support for end of life solutions. So if you're running like old versions of Angular, AngularJS, Ruby, .NET, Java, Spring, Spring Boot, Spring Framework, any of that, we come in, patch that stuff for you, and you pull in our dependencies, and you're secure, and we also secure your transitive dependencies of those libraries out of the box. So if you ever need end-of-life support or rebootless patching, if your stuff runs on Linux, definitely check out TuxCare. A little bit more about me. What does this even say? International speaker. I'm from Detroit. Go Lions. This thing is dying on me. I charged the whole battery. Whatever. I love spooky stuff. I love tattoos, if you clearly couldn't tell. I'm a competitive paintball player, as well as a competitive bass angler. And I also believe in all different types of cryptids, ghosts, and UFOs. And you're not here for the tech piece of this. You're here for the UFO piece of this. Does anybody believe in cryptids? What's your favorite cryptid? No, behind you.
My favorite?
Your favorite. There's only one true answer. Skinwalker? Maybe. But no, that's the wrong answer, sorry. Huh? Dogman? Mothman? Dogman. No, that's the wrong answer too. Does anybody have the right answer? It's Mothman. Mothman's the best cryptid. Any of them could be. You could be the Flatwoods Monster, you could be the skunk ape. It's all good. Does anybody believe in ghosts? I think this theater's haunted, to be honest. Has anybody ever had a ghost encounter? Hell yeah, all right. What about UFOs? Anybody believe in UFOs, UAPs, USOs? Yeah? Yeah? Have you ever had an encounter or a sighting? No? You will, one day. You're attending this, Black are gonna be watching this. Let's go. Thank you for coming to the talk. It's called Close Encounters of the Data Kind, Exploring UFO Sightings with MongoDB and NextJS. First things first though, we are gonna talk about UFO and UAP history, sightings and abductions. See, this is where the real stuff is happening right here. This is where the fun is. Does everybody know what UAP stands for before I go any further? Unidentified aerial phenomena. So we don't really call them UFOs anymore. The same thing we used to call USOs, unidentified submersible objects. Now they're USPs, unidentified submersible phenomena. Just a little bit of a knowledge right there for you. So who was born when this happened? Was anybody born in 1947, July specifically? I'll take that as a no. This is when Roswell happened, right? Roswell, New Mexico, the famous crash and sighting. Kenneth Arnold, a lot of people involved in this, Jesse Marcel. If you don't know about the UFO, the Roswell files, the Roswell incident, check it out, definitely Google it. It's a really, really great, not just a story, but a recollection of what happened and who saw what and it was passed down. It's really, really good. Part of the sighting, they found some debris in the ground. It was almost like aluminum foil. You crumpled it up, they let it go, and it went back to normal, which is kind of gnarly. So definitely give that a look. Is anybody familiar with Betty and Barney Hill? Betty and Barney Hill case. First documented abduction case, 1961. Betty and Barney Hill were coming back in the highlands of New Hampshire. They went missing. They lost track of time. They ended up back at their house with the keys on their coffee table. There was various stains on Betty's dress, handprints and different things on their vehicle. They had no idea what happened. A while later, Betty was actually under hypnosis and drew out the whole Zeta Reticuli star map from her memory. A physicist mapped that as well, and they mapped one for one. How she did that, we don't know. But it's a really, really great story as well. There's a book out there called Captured, the Betty and Barney Hill story. Check that out. Here's another one if you're from Michigan. This happened in 1966 in Dexter. So if you're from Michigan, Dexter's over here on the west side, right by Ann Arbor. And there was a whole big thing that happened. It was swamp gas this, and it was a UFO that. They brought in J. Allen Hynek to investigate it. He eventually said it was swamp gas. Turned out that it wasn't swamp gas. People actually came out and said, oh no, that was not true. This is exactly what this was. So that's another really good one to look at. And then for all of my Missourians, is that how you say it, Missourians? Got it. Missourians? See, I'm a Michigander. So we have some famous, oh no, that's not it. There we go. We have some famous stuff that actually happened in Missouri. Piedmont is actually the UFO capital of Missouri. Between February and April of '73, there was a bunch of sightings all through Piedmont and Wayne County. So check that out. I got to bring a little bit of flavor, not just, all of Michigan and New Hampshire and Roswell. I'm going to bring it to the house. This stuff actually happened in Missouri as well. All right, so let's talk about the tech. I mean, you probably did want to see some of the technology behind this little demo. The tech that I'm going to be using for this, and it's really cool, we're going to be using Next. Does anybody use Next right now? Right on. Oh, come on. So Next, it's the React framework for the web. Built-in optimizations. It's got dynamic HTML streaming, React server components, RSCs, route handlers, and server actions. And then the way you install Next is just npx create React or create Next app at latest. So that way you're installing the latest version of Next, right? Does anybody use Mongo? Does anybody use Atlas from Mongo? Okay, Atlas is a really, really cool tool to use. But Mongo in general, it's the world's most popular document database. Now, if you're familiar with databases, you have your relational databases like SQLs and MySQL, Postgres. And then you have your document databases, Firebase, Mongo. It's a document model, so it's just JavaScript at the end of the day. It's just JSON. Flexible schemas, which is really cool. It's distributed and resilient, and it scales horizontally, which is really cool. The other piece of this, we're using Netlify. Does anybody use Netlify? Does anybody use Vercel? Azure, AWS, GCP, DigitalOcean. Okay. Well, Netlify is also a distribution platform, right? All-in-one platform to build, deploy, manage, and extend modern web apps. I use it for pretty much anything that I'm building personally or any demos that I'm going to be distributing out there for conference talks, blog posts, stuff like that. Anything that I'm going to be doing that's not work-related, I'm going to use Netlify 100 times a day. It's just the best platform in my opinion, but you can use what you want. I don't work at Netlify either. It's just I've never had an issue with Netlify. So if you haven't used it, check it out. The one cool thing about it, you can get preview URLs out of this for work in progress. And I don't know about you, but I've had issues in the past working on teams where I've needed a preview URL to hand off to a QA person to QA stuff. And we just didn't have that. It wasn't provided by the platform that we were using. So they either had to clone the repo, pull it down, we had to show them how to use Git and GitHub, or we had to sit with them and show them our machine so they could QA it. Like, that's a pain. That's a pain in the ass. So Netlify allows you to have preview URLs that you could pass off to someone to check out your work. It also provides security tools, monitoring performance, visitor traffic and behavior, custom serverless forms, which is really cool too. You can use Netlify forms, and you can map that back to Netlify, and anything that gets sent through your Netlify form will just be in your Netlify dashboard. So it's pretty sweet. And so much more. A lot of stuff that Netlify can do. They're also doing a lot of stuff now with AI. If you're into the AI space, AI, the bubble will pop soon. Don't hate on me for saying that. But all three of these things together will help us build out this really, really cool UFO sightings and abductions dashboard. And that's what we're going to do. I'm going to show a bunch of code. I'm going to take you through a deployment, show you what it's like, and then we'll break and then bring up the next speaker. For the UI, I'm also using Material UI. Does anybody use Material UI? Anybody use like Shad? Anybody use Shad? Anybody work in React Native and use GlueStack? What about Tailwind? Right on. So yeah, we're just using Material for this. And at the end of the day, what this is going to look like, it's just going to be a plain UI. Right? We have cards here with data. We have the title of the abduction or the sighting. We have where it was, the location. We have the close encounters level, which is C1 to C3. We have the type of species it was, and then a link to where that information is stored. You can also search for things too. So up here, so whatever the data set has that you're using, I just with ChatGPT and some books and stuff and came up with this data set. You can search and you can filter by what you want, which is pretty cool. It's just all React inside Next. So the way you install this, you can install the MongoDB integration into your Next app, so you don't have to do all the fiddling around with getting Next set up, getting Mongo configured with that. You don't have to do any of that. Mongo provides this out of the box, which is pretty cool. Everything's set up, get server-side props, all of that stuff is set up for you, your mongodb.typescript file, all of it is ready to rock and roll. You just gotta go in, put the information in, put in your database name, your collection, consume the data, use your MongoDB URI, which is your environment variable, make sure that you hide it, do not commit that to GitHub, and then you're good to go. So the command to do it is npx create next app -- example. That's just the example with MongoDB and then the name of whatever you're building. So this one is close encounters, right? You run that command, it installs Next, it installs Mongo, it installs all the things that you need, and then you'll be ready to rock and roll. It's not gonna install Material, Material is separate, right? But just the Next and Mongo integration, boom. You CD into your folder, your directory. Does everybody like playing in Linux? Anybody run general Linux commands? Intro Linux? Okay. If not, you got to open up your file and all that other stuff. CD into your close encounters or whatever your folder is, your directory. You npm I, npm install, whatever you choose to say, whatever you choose to type. And then npm run dev, and then that will spin up your local host. It'll get you your site ready to rock and roll, and then you can just modify it from there. Now, on top of using Netlify and Atlas and Next, we're going to use Compass. Does anybody use Compass? You're going to learn all about Compass. So, Compass is a free interactive tool for querying, optimizing, and analyzing your MongoDB data. You get key insights, drag and drop to build pipelines, and more. So, Compass is a way for you to consume that data in a JSON format. You can import it, you can add it. You hook up your connection string to Compass from Atlas or from DO or from Azure, whatever your cloud platform is that provides you that database functionality. You take that connection string, you plug it into Compass, and then you're connected. So your data lives here in Compass, it gets pulled in and deployed through all the different pipelines out to your Next app. Does that make sense? Cool. So this is what it looks like. You just have your connection over here, you connect to it, and then this is the data. The ID, the underscore ID gets pre-populated by Compass, so you don't have to put that in. And like I said, this is the schema, right? Name, location, close encounter level, extraterrestrial type, and then the URL, come on. The URL of the image, there's also an image and then the URL of like the Wikipedia page or a page that talks about that specifically. When you fire up Compass, it's going to ask you to paste your connection string. You just take that connection string, you paste it there. You can add a color to it, so if you have a bunch of different database connection strings. You can make the color whatever you want, yellow, blue, green, and then hit connect, and you're good. Then it will connect for you, and you should be connected to that database instance. So this is what the structure looks like. This is in Next. We have our component folder, right? So our component folder is going to hold all of the things. So the encounter card, the header, etc. If you have anything else, it's all going to go in there. We have our pages. So we have our pages directory, and in that pages directory, we just have our index.typescript. And then this is kind of what it breaks down to if you were to kind of look at it in a tree level, right? We got components, encounter card, header, and then the header TypeScript file. That's the way I like doing it. I do believe this is also a best practice. You create a components folder, you create that component folder, and then within that you put your TypeScript or your JSX inside that. So it keeps it extremely organized. So that when you import these components into your main, it'll be component/header/header.tsx, right? Or just /header. But it keeps things a lot organized so you can maintain your code base. So this is the index.tsx, and it's just a bunch of imports. All these imports are pretty much, they're all coming from the material UI, right? So we have, this one specifically comes from Next. It's the head component. It's where all your head metadata goes. You got your client promise that comes in from Mongo. You got your type, which is coming in from your files. Your container, the box, which is a weird name for a component, just box. You have your header, which is coming in from the header that I created, so .component/header, header. You have the encounter card, which is another component that I created. You have your text field, that's for the search. Use state, that comes from React, so you could have stateful. And then you import your typography from material. So this is everything that's going to be generated on that main index.tsx, which you're going to see when you go to localhost or whenever you go to that deployed URL. And then we have our type encounter. So this is TypeScript. This is saying what we want the data to look like. It's got an ID of string. That ID, like I said, is coming from Compass. We have a name, which is a string. You have to do this in TypeScript. Location, close encounters level, extraterrestrial type, the image, and the URL. You got to define the shape of the data for TypeScript to be able to consume it and display it. We have index props. This all comes directly from MongoDB. And next, you just change encounters, encounter, whatever the shape of the data is. And then we have this whole big file here too. As long as this works, I can see. So we have our await client promise. The client promise is assigned to client. We have the DB. The DB, in this case, was called UFOs. We set a variable encounters, and it's for the collection sightings encounters. We're going to find all the things, but we're going to limit it to 30, and then we're going to put that into an array. We're going to return props, and then if there's any errors, catch them, console error, etc. And then we have our home. So this is the filtering with the search bar, so you can filter it by name, you can filter it by city or state, so you can find what encounter or sighting that you're looking for. And then we just have the bulk of it. We have our head, our title, UFO encounters and sightings. The head component comes from Next. That's all within the header. We have our container. This is all of the stuff for material. So the box, the container, the text field, typography. Sort of looks like Tailwind, sort of looks like Shad, but it's material UI. And then we have our main, and our main is going to hold all of the things between the footer and the header. Make sure that you're using semantic markup too, by the way. We use semantic markup. It's 2025. There's our encounter card. It's going to bring in that data, the filtered encounters. And then we have our footer. So we just put our footer in there, whatever you want to put in there, and then you're good to go. Boop. And then this is what makes up the header, right? So we're importing React. We have the app bar. Oh, let me go back. We have the app bar for material, the box, the toolbar, and the typography. All that stuff comes from Material UI. And then you just encompass it all within the box. You have the app bar, and it's kind of cut and dry after that. UFO counters and abductions is the title. And then you export that header in order to use it in your main TSX. And that's what you get. Just a green bar, UFOs, abductions, and encounters and sightings, whatever you want to say. Then we have the encounter card. Same kind of thing. You're importing the card actions, card content, card medium, link, and typography. All of this comes directly from Material UI. That way you don't have to build it out with custom CSS. Here's the shape of the data that's coming in. We've already seen that. Everything's pretty much just a string. Name, location, close encounters level, extraterrestrial type, image, and URL. And that's what it looks like. You have your image, you have your title, your location, your close encounters level, the species, and then a link to more information about that. So let's do a demo real quick of this. Let me see if I can get this rocking and rolling. Where are we at here? Let's see. Boop, boop, boop. Can everybody see this? All the way to the back? Good? Sweet. Let's run npm run dev. Let's fire this up. Come on, Wi-Fi. And there we go. So we see that it's working, right? If we wanted to search Roswell, we got that. Let's see what's down here. Zanfretta. We can do that. We can do the Ariel school encounters. So that's cool. So let's add some data to this, right? Never mind this Lonnie Zamora one. Let's go in here. And let's make this a little bit bigger. And let's take some of this data. Add data. Insert, and then we'll do this here. Yeah, actually, you know what? Cancel that. And then let's change it to Piedmont Sightings. Let's do Piedmont Mo. We don't know the close encounter level. We don't know this either. And then the image we do have, so we'll grab that. All right, where's it yelling at me? Is it this? Oh, there we go. All right. Insert the document. You can see at the bottom it's down here. And then if we go back to, was it here? No. Where is it at? Then we got it down here. So it automatically, once you save and you add that, it'll automatically populate, which is pretty sweet. So let's actually deploy this. Does everybody want to see this maybe fail? All right. All right, so we're going to use Netlify. So the cool thing about Netlify is you can connect GitHub, GitLab. You can pull in a repo and then deploy it from there. So we are going to add a new project. We are going to import an existing project. I'm going to go into GitHub. I'm going to authorize GitHub. So that's going to pull up my GitHub account. Close encounters of the data kind. Sweet. It pulls up that repo. We're going to call it Close Encounters, we're going to give it a project name. The branch to deploy is going to be main. Base directory, we're just going to put a slash npm run build. Nope, we're going to change that to next build. The publish directory is going to stay the same. The functions directory is going to stay the same. We are going to add an environment variable here. And it's going to be called MongoDB underscore URI. We're going to paste it there so you can't see it. And then we're going to deploy. Fingers crossed. Drum roll, please. That was a horrible drum roll. So it's deploying. We can watch it build. I hope this works. It worked before when I tested this morning. It worked on my machine. Hopefully the Wi-Fi cooperates. Yeah, put in a ticket. So while this is doing this, let's talk about cryptids, UFOs, and ghosts. So who believes in UFOs and UAPs? And have you ever, so how many have seen a UFO or what they believe to be a UFO? Nothing? You ever just stare at the sky and see what happens? What do you think about the 3i Atlas that they're talking about now? What do you think about that? Possible? I heard that it's changing trajectory different than a comet would, which is pretty gnarly. I heard that it's absorbing energy from the sun and turning it different colors, which comets don't do. Doesn't have a tail. It's passing by just directly at the right moment, but not within our orbit and our atmosphere. It's pretty gnarly. All right, I think it worked. Publish, deploy. Let's see, did it work? Oh, there you go. Round of applause. This has never worked for me, ever, but I was using other stuff at the time. And let's see, so we have the Roswell incident, Betty and Barney Hill, we got the Phoenix Lights, Travis Walton. Has anybody seen the movie Fire in the Sky? From 1993, great movie, Travis Walton. The Rendlesham Forest incident, Kelly Hopkinsville encounter, which is a favorite of mine. The Westfall, the Zanfretta, the Ariel school encounter that happened in Zimbabwe. That's a great story as well. The Pascagoula abduction, Lonnie Zamora, and we have the Piedmont sightings. I'm so glad that worked. Now, let me go back to, I want to go use a separate display. Where'd you go? There we go. Let's move this back. Cool. All right. This doesn't have anything to do with the talk at all. I just love this picture because it's cute and it's spooky. And the dog's like, what the hell are you doing? Where's my owner? So what did we learn? Let's recap a little bit. So we learned a little bit about UFO history. We learned about NextJS and what that is. It's a React framework. We learned about MongoDB and Compass, how to use Atlas to consume, Compass to consume that data, and using Atlas as your deployment platform for that database. We learned about Netlify and how to use Netlify and deploy something directly from your GitHub. And then we learned about storing data and deploying that to the cloud, and that's through Mongo Atlas. If you didn't get a chance, here's the show notes again. If everybody got it, then we're good. Everybody, thumbs up? Sweet. That's me, that's my time. If you want to go to the GitHub and play with this, it's github.com/christomars/close encounters of the data kind, and that's my time. Thank you.